BTS News Today. In the quiet atmosphere that hung between the walls where they used to joke and sing, Jungkook finally broke the silence with a confession he had never dared to say before. The look in his eyes could no longer hide the emotion that had been locked in his chest for years. When he finally looked at Jimin and uttered the words that had long since settled down, the whole world seemed to stop spinning for a moment. Feelings of love. Something that sounds so simple, but when it comes out of the mouth of someone like Jungkook, a man who has been known to be strong, cheerful, and sometimes mysterious, its meaning becomes much deeper. He is not expressing love to the world in general, nor is it just empty poetry for fans. He was talking directly to someone who had always been beside him, but also felt very far away, Park Jimin. The confession came in a very unexpected moment. Jungkook, who is serving his mandatory military service, gets a short break and secretly meets with Jimin. No cameras, no staff, no media. Only two hearts can finally no longer shy away from the fact that the feelings they have harbored have grown in silence and become too big to ignore. "Hyung, I can't hide this anymore," Jungkook said in a hoarse voice. Jimin, who initially just stared in confusion, slowly began to understand the vibration behind every word that came out of the lips of the sister he had been protecting. Their gazes met, and in the silence of that night, time seemed to stop. "I love you. It's been a long time," Jungkook continued, his eyes starting to turn red, holding back tears that didn't want to fall. "But I know. I was too cowardly to say anything earlier." Jimin was silent. His lips trembled slightly, and his eyes showed a deep shock. All this time, he felt something different in the way Jungkook looked after him, in the way he looked after, protected, and even got unreasonably angry when Jimin got too close to someone else. However, he never imagined that it all came from such a sincere feeling of love. "I don't know what to say," Jimin finally opened his voice, in a soft tone filled with confusion and touch. "You know, I always felt that there was something between us, but I'm also scared. I'm afraid my feelings are one-sided." Those words were like a rumble in Jungkook's chest. He was surprised and at the same time relieved. Apparently, Jimin also felt the same way, although they both chose to pretend all this time. All the moments they spent together backstage, laughter, hugs and moments of sadness, fleeting whispers among the tired schedule of concerts, all were not accidental. Jimin held Jungkook's hand, and for the first time in a long time, they no longer spoke as the two idols were busy maintaining an image. They spoke as two human beings who were finally honest to their heart's content. Under the silent night sky, they found peace and honesty. Word of the meeting began to spread when a staffer overheard their conversation, despite not knowing the full context. ARMY began to speculate, especially after Jungkook wrote poetic words on their platform fan account. "Sometimes it takes courage to love in silence, but I don't want to be silent anymore." The sentence went viral, sparking thousands of speculations and fan theories. A few days later, Jimin did a live broadcast from their dorm. His face looks calmer, although his eyes seem puffy. In the middle of the broadcast, one of the soldiers asked, "How is Jungkook?" "We all miss." Jimin smiled, staring at the camera for quite a while before replying, "She's good." "Dan, he just did a very brave thing." He paused for a moment, staring at the ceiling, as if looking for the strength to continue. Sometimes, it takes a long time to realize that someone is who we are looking for. It's been near us all this time. The broadcast brought tears to the eyes of the ARMY, especially those who had noticed the close relationship between Jimin and Jungkook. Many say that this is the most honest moment of Jimin over the past few months. The next day, Jungkook wrote a message on the fan platform. "I can't promise that everything will be easy, but I can promise you one thing. My feelings are real, and I will take care of them. Forever." Armies from around the world began flooding social media with support. Hashtags such as hashtag always with Jungkook, hashtag Jungkook confessed, and hashtag Jimin you are loved are trending in various countries. The fans who had been harboring hopes about their closeness felt like they were getting a reward for their patience. More than a sensation, however, this story reflects something much deeper. It's not just about the love between two people, but about the courage to be honest, to admit feelings even though the world may not understand. Jungkook has shown his most fragile and most human side. He let the world know that even an idol, someone who is highlighted and judged every day, also has a heart that can love deeply and secretly. Meanwhile, Jimin ended up giving a longer statement in a limited interview with a magazine close to BTS. Love is not easy, especially in a situation like ours. But when someone shows you their heart with such sincerity, you can't just turn away. Jungkook, she was home to me in many ways. The statement touched many hearts. Their closeness is now no longer just a fan interpretation. The world has seen how love can touch even those who live amid the spotlights. Jungkook and Jimin probably won't explicitly define their relationship. However, for those who see, hear and feel the energy between the two, love is real. And when that love was finally spoken, the world listened. The days after the confession felt different, not only for the two of them, but also for the fans who had been following the secret story between Jungkook and Jimin. Something has changed in the atmosphere. Whether it's in the way Jimin looks at the camera in an interview session, or in the way Jungkook writes a message in the middle of the night, everything feels more honest, more open, more humane. Although the two did not explicitly state that they were in a romantic relationship, but the body language and the words they used were more than enough to convey their heart's content. Even the staff and those closest to them began to notice that there was a new calm in the way Jungkook looked at the world. No longer like someone who keeps a heavy burden, but rather like someone who finally breaks free from his own inner prison. One of the staff makeup artists who worked with them for many years finally spoke out in a personal blog. He wrote, "Jungkook has always been considerate, but there's something softer about him in recent times. I saw how he looked at Jimin from a distance, like someone who finally sees home after a long walk." Those words touched the hearts of many fans. They know that sincere love often doesn't require a big confession on stage or a glamorous party. Sometimes, love is about sitting side by side without saying anything, yet still feeling completely understood. This slowly unfolding love story then attracted the attention of Korean and international media. Various articles and TV programs began to discuss the possibility of a more than friendly relationship between Jungkook and Jimin. However, their agency chose silence. There is no confirmation, nor refutation. That led many fans to conclude that the agency had finally given its two artists a space of privacy to reveal themselves without pressure. For the ARMY, this was a small victory. Those who have always loved BTS not only because of the songs and choreography, but because of their humanity, can finally watch these two closest members talk honestly about feelings that have been only speculation. ARMY spread messages of love and reinforcement across social media platforms. One fan from Brazil wrote, "They don't have to explain anything to us, but the honesty they give is the purest form of love, and we can only respect it." While a fan from the Philippines stated, "All this time we saw them supporting each other. Now we know that support comes from deep love. I cried happily for them." In the midst of all this, Jungkook also reveals his other emotional side through music. He released a personal demo track titled Moonlight Confession. The song, although not yet officially released, leaked through the fan community platform and immediately became a hot topic. The lyrics are so deep, telling the story of a person who falls in love secretly, who is afraid to convey his heart's content for fear of losing everything. Even the moon knows this secret / that I love you in silence / for so many years I have silenced my voice / afraid that your shadow goes with the wind.